Hi there, I'm Luma. Here we are, the first couple of days into 2024. Of course, it's always traditionally a time of the year when we reflect upon the past and we look forward to the future. So for me, the early weeks of January are not a time to start doing a whole bunch of things. It's a time to be quiet, to reflect inward, to stay in hibernation mode if you're here in the Northern Hemisphere, to have some quiet rest time, and to really dream deeper and dream bigger into what the possibilities may be and what the shape of our futures may become. Yeah. So when I'm tuning in right now, the themes that I'm sensing firstly is that we're in the midst of a reality renovation. So of course it's a bit of a strange and bumpy ride. So the way that I'm understanding or giving a context to be with a lot of the strange things happening at the moment is that our reality is going through a renovation, just like a home renovation while you're still living in the house. Yeah. So there has to be a lot of care as you're taking apart the old structures. Yeah. So you may, in a home renovation, take down a wall and find behind there's a whole pile of a mess or mold or something, and you end up having to take out a lot more of the older structures. Yeah. It may have rotted away, structurally not sound anymore. Yeah, you never know what you're going to find when you start tearing down an old structure. Yeah. So we're finding things in ourselves that have just kind of held our lives together on the personal level. Yeah. That we've just lived with for a long time, and we start to do this renovation process, and we're going to find some gnarly things, and we're going to have to do some upgrades. So this has been this ongoing process we've been going through, pretty much since 2012. So we're a good long way into it now here. So as we're going through this renovation, living in our bodies while we're going through intense transformation, intense transfiguration, we're seeing it in our cultural structures, yeah, structures of governance and power, yeah. It's going through a major renovation, right? But let's stay focused here on our personal experience for this particular video. So we're in this careful process of taking something apart while we're living inside of it. So there's going to be places where we still need to have like the old braces up that are holding up the old structures. Yeah. So we don't want everything to collapse in on us because we have to keep living. We still need some shelter as we're going through this transition. So, to be not judgmental of those parts of yourself that they still are bracing and holding. Yeah, still scaffolding that's holding things in place. Yeah, there's a divine timing to all of this. Yeah, and we still are taking shelter in some of the old structures. Yeah, well the new ones are being built. Yeah, so a lot of patience here, okay. A lot of reviewing going on. Okay, so so this like bracing and holding up our old life, right? It was like kind of having to create some structures to hold back the levels of assault and impact and traumatic experiences that we've been bombarded with. Yeah. And we want to say yes to life. We don't quite yet trust what life may bring. We don't quite trust the new experiences because we haven't had them yet. So, I talk a lot about energetic structures. What are they? What are those blueprints? They're the blueprints behind the reality that we experience as physical form here. Yeah. So we have the blueprints. Yeah. Those higher levels of ourselves, those other dimensional levels of ourselves have been holding those blueprints, been working on those blueprints, drawing them up. That's why we can feel new possibilities and new realities in very vivid ways in our visioning, in our internal places, in our dreams, in our meditations. We can see it peeking through the skies and the clouds. We can see it peeking through people's eyes. We can feel it bubbling up in our hearts as a feeling of relief, of well-being, of peace at times. Yeah. So another way of understanding is that there's memories coming back to us of golden ages, of times on this earth and in other realms where there has been great peace. Yeah, these mythic golden ages, yeah, which are actually realities. They're actually realities. And those realities have been not apparent here on this earth and in our human experiences for quite a long cycle of time. So it's like the memories of those golden ages are stored in layers of the earth. And as we're going through this shift and opening of consciousness, those layers are opening up and releasing information, releasing building blocks so that we can be building the new realities from these new blueprints. Yeah. So there's some content that's being opened up through the layers of the earth, through the layers of our bodies. Yeah. So it's things are actually stored in the physical realms, not just the etheric and spiritual realms. And there's a reunion happening here, right? So the blueprints come through from the spiritual realms. That's our angelic half of ourselves, or our soul half of ourselves. And then there's the physical manifestation building blocks. That's the human level of ourself here. Yeah. So there's a reunification so that there's a new arrangement that can be made here. That's a big, beautiful process that's going on. And like, how wonderful that we get to be right in it. Right in it, okay? Not always easy. Not always easy. So what are we going through here? We're coming out of a reality where the dominant tone, or the dominant, like the primary code, was fear. Yeah. And we're moving into a reality that has a base tone, or a primary tone, of peace. Now, we've lived in fear and conflict for so many generations as humans that we like the idea of peace. We want to say yes to peace, but we don't maybe have a lived experience or a recent memory of what that might be. We may be so wired for conflict and division that kind of generates a certain energy that we would feel, oh my gosh, peace would be really boring. You know, nothing's happening. We don't, you know, because we just don't have that memory. So there are the frequencies of peace coming in. So I've been tuning in with curiosity to what are these frequencies of peace. And I feel it coming in as a pillar first that just holds us. Yeah, so it's an energetic structure, like a pillar that just holds us steady while we go through this transformation that we're in. And when this frequency of peace was coming in, and I'm working on a frequency project, which I hope to be sharing more with you about in the near future, collaborating on a project to amplify these frequencies so that we can have a better felt sense of what they are. When I felt this coming in, I felt a lot of resistance in my system, that this quality of peace really had to almost like carve itself into my body. Yeah, it had to move through a lot of layers of density and resistance. And then once this pillar kind of came in, then I could begin to feel right in the base of my body, right in my tailbone and sacrum, a pulsation. So there's this pulse of peace. It's a new bass pulse rhythm. It's a new tone. And we need to attune and acclimatize ourselves to that very gradually. Yeah. And what is this doing? It's supporting this reunification of these parts of our consciousness that have been divided against each other, the levels of ourself, our physical, mental, emotional selves that all been divided against each other and fighting and in conflict. No wonder it's hard to get anything done. So coming back into reunification, where all of these parts can collaborate together and co-create together. So it's a big transition we're in here. So we look at what's this blueprint that's coming in. What are the new energetic structures? They have this quality of peaceful collaboration. Yeah, we all want it. We sure want it. Yeah. And so it's clearing the way, all those old structures, the renovations that are going down, every place where we've held conflict, internal division, hatred of ourselves, hatred of others. Yeah. Okay, and so you may be noticing on a personal level, like sudden explosive feelings inside of yourself, which no apparent reason outside of yourself, that no finger of blame you could point to. It's like these old internal memories and structures that you've just lived with, and you know, these new frequencies come in, and I've talked about this a lot. Activate that. We feel it. Keep moving through it. It's really uncomfortable. Yeah. We may say things or do things that we wish we hadn't done, but we just gotta keep moving through it as best we can. Yeah. To collapse those old structures. So there is a time where it's kind of like dynamite and some parts collapse. Yeah, well, but we want to, it's this real careful thing that's going on. It's really, really tricky navigating right now. All right. So yeah, these can be these explosive intensity of feelings coming up. There can also be on the other side, our ennui, you know, just a deep world weary boredom of just not feeling like doing anything, you know. This time of year, it's a great time of year to binge watch movies and series, right? And so, you know, don't be hard on yourself if that's what you're doing. Most people I talk to are doing that right now. They're kind of this guilty, oh, I've been binge watching this, or just laying around watching movies or escaping, whatever. But the stories, you know, they're really important, right? Why do we like to watch movies and series and read books and hear stories? You know, it helps us to make meaning. It helps us to come to an understanding of our experiences. So, you know, when we've been through powerful, impactful, or traumatic experiences, the way to integrate those experiences is through telling our story of that, of what happened over and over again. And each time we tell it, there's another layer that opens up and unpacks and reveals. Yeah. So while for watching these movies and this TV series, like watching reruns of the old reality, where we may bring new understanding in, my goodness, this is what we've been living inside of, with a lot of compassion, a lot of understanding. Yeah. So there's teachings to be uncovered. There's gems of insight to be uncovered that will grow into wisdom of how we may take those old experiences and come forward to make some new choices. And this is not an easy thing, you know. Again, be really patient with yourself here. There's been a lot of momentum behind the old reality programming and structures. Yeah. And we may be really attached to that in ways that we don't even know, that may surprise us. Yeah. So when those ego structures start to tumble down, we're going to see maybe some ugly things about ourselves, and we're maybe going to recover some beautiful treasures as well. So I want to loop back to what I mentioned earlier about these layers in the earth, that I call them the Edons. That's what I learned in metaphysics. Another way of saying, like, the concept of paradise or the Garden of Eden, right? The Edonic realms, the Edonic layers are like the information from the golden ages, right, that hold the keys of renewal for reconsecrating, making sacred again life which has been desecrated. Yeah, so it has that information, and it's opening up within us. How is that opening up? As we expand and open into greater states of consciousness, yeah, different qualities, for example, peace, yeah, greater connection, authenticity, truthfulness, yeah, these beautiful and qualities and virtues that we aspire to, yeah. So I look for those layers. I'm seeing those layers opening up on days like today when the light pours through and it's so freaking brilliant. It's like almost blinding. You know, I shared some pictures up around the winter solstice. Incredible quality of light streaming through the forest, such quality of aliveness of the Edons, the beautiful golden light, you know, the golden cycle era age. Yeah, the memories of those timelines coming through and meeting, you know, the old structures. Yeah. So, you know, we're going through our ups and downs. Yeah. But we're moving and moving and moving through very beautifully with a lot of support. Yeah. Reunifying a lot of parts that have been divided and separated and in conflict with each other. Yeah. That's a beautiful sound of the waves today. It's been really rainy and dark the last few days, and I've been hunkered down, you know, binge watching on the couch under the blankets, kind of hiding out. And it's quite brilliant today, and to feel this washing that's going on, this kind of washing and rinse cycle, you know, receiving these moments of refreshment when they come. And let's take in the beautiful quality of light behind me here today. Yeah. So again, we're shifting out of this old reality that has a base tone of fear and coming into creating realities with a base tone and pulse of peace. Yeah. It's like re-sanctifying, making sacred life again in new ways. And there's a lot of joyfulness that wants to express, a lot of playfulness, right? How does creativity move through us? By experimenting, trying, and being playful, yeah? So not getting too attached to it being perfect the first time we try it, right? Not having it all figured out, just getting your hands in there, trying a little bit, having a little nap, you know, be easy on yourself. So really stepping out of that forcing and pushing and being hard, right? It's like moving in, moving back. It's a whole different rhythm here. Find your own rhythm. It's and really important as we're navigating in the coming months to stay really attuned with your own instincts, your deeper intuition. Yep. So it's great to take some time away from a lot of outer things right now, so you get really clear in yourself. Yeah, what are the pulses and rhythms that are moving you in your heart? Yeah, what have you been dreaming of that you've been afraid to even speak aloud into this world for fear that it may not come? Yeah. So being really gentle here. and also at the same time there's a lot of vibrancy and a lot of aliveness. So this quality of renewal, allowing these parts of ourselves that have been putting up with a lot of hard things for a long time. Yeah, to this trusting of this process of renewal. Yeah. Yeah. All right. I'll speak more fully on some of these themes in the coming weeks ahead. I will do another live Q&A live stream. So thanks everybody who were able to be on live, and everyone who listened to the recording. Wonderful that I did one back on December the 17th. It was really great to take your questions, you know, to speak on things that may not come into my mind to speak about. So I will be doing another one, I think I'm going to do that on Sunday, January the 14th. Again, I'll do it at 10 a.m. Pacific. So I'll put links in below, and when I've got that planned up and ready. So do check back. And if you go to my channel, there's the live tab. So click on the live tab, you'll find the recording of the last live stream there, and there'll be an announcement for the next live stream with the details and the link there as well. So do check there, okay? All right, I'll leave you for a few more moments here, just taking in the waves. Actually, I'm gonna open up the window here and let you take in the sound of the waves here too. It's just fantastic today. Oh, goodness. Wonderful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you again really soon.